Hey, everybody, welcome back to Real Talk with QHT. I'm your host, George Herrera, with the Queens Home Team at Keller Williams Realty, and I'm host by my partner in crime, Abigail Herrera,
Hello, world.
aka Abigail the Great, if you're following the show. You know, she just always likes to plug that in there. So, we're back with another episode on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
We got an agenda ready. I got it
Wow.
all
Oh
together.
my gosh, you
You
are
know,
you are so talented.
I put these agendas together fairly quickly, but
Yes.
it's
No, it's
good
good
stuff.
stuff.
Hopefully, it's good stuff, and hopefully, all of y'all out there are loyal subscribers and listeners. Hopefully, you're learning stuff from the pod because we do this for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, Abby's
I'm so
finding like sound effects,
I'm
so
such a
now,
child,
yeah.
as you say all the time.
Okay, so can we
Okay.
jump in here?
Yes, please. I can I go over what the agenda is,
Yeah, sure, let's do
which
it.
is pretty consistent, right?
Yeah.
So we have the question or topic of the week. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll also talk about the aha or tip of the week,
Mm-hmm.
right? We'll also talk about new listings that our team will be listing on the market as of
Yes.
next week. We'll also talk about market insights, my favorite, and what we're reading, watching, listening, or eating and drinking these days. Well,
Yes.
drinking, we have some in our hands right now.
Josh
Josh
Wine. I
wine,
mean, we can just jump in with the plug right there. Like,
Cabernet
yeah,
Sauvignon.
it's very, very good.
Yeah,
Shout out to Josh Wine for
yeah.
not sponsoring, but hey, if you're listening, you're welcome to sponsor
Okay.
an episode.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So
Okay.
that's what we're going over. All right. So, George, please begin.
So, question or topic of the week. I
Mm-hmm.
have a question for you here.
Uh oh.
Okay. This I
Oh my
also pulled
gosh.
this from a real estate forum. It's from a home seller, and I thought this is a good one. I don't know how many people wonder this, but I think it's a good one, and I think you would be very well equipped to answer this.
Okay.
Okay. So you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, this is the subject line. Selling a house. Is there anything that's in poor taste to not do and or leave behind? Okay, can I give you more context?
Sure.
So this is the whole question. This is my first time selling a house and would like to get the general public's take on how I should leave it. So that's us now.
Okay.
So, and I'd like to get your take on how I should leave it. This house was left in terrible condition for me as the buyer, and I don't want my buyer to feel the same feeling of disappointment and second guessing when they walk in. So, it's possible I'm overthinking some of this.
Mm-hmm.
This already sounds like a nice seller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For example, I would like to take most of my curtains and curtain rods. Is this something you would expect to be left behind as a buyer? Also, is it sufficient just to patch up any holes left from wall decor that was taken down and leave extra paint?
Okay. So
This is a good
these
question,
are
right?
very, very nice
I
questions,
think it's,
actually.
I mean, this is a pretty good question. And I
Yeah.
mean, people have wondered it. Like,
Okay.
right?
So the first thing that comes to mind is don't have any expectations, meaning don't assume. So it's really, as far as the first comment about should I leave blinds and window treatments, etc. I think it's much easier if that was you can discuss that with your agent if you're working with an agent, of course, to provide if you're going to leave what items such as
Mm-hmm.
fridge, stoves, washer, dryer, blinds, etc. So that way that can be disclosed in any marketing.
Mm-hmm.
If that wasn't during the course of the sale and you're now in contract ready to close, then it's just a simple question. Hey, would you like me to leave this?
Yeah,
That's it.
for sure.
So that's pretty straightforward. The second thing is as far as like holes in the walls,
Yeah.
that's a very common thing where people take down artwork, artwork or mirrors or whatever the case may be. Typically, not just typically,
Mm-hmm.
in a standard contract of sale, it usually states that if there's anything larger than a dime size of a hole, that they would like, it should be patched up.
That's a
It
good
doesn't
aha
have to be
for,
painted though.
yeah.
It just has to be patched.
Yes, that's a good aha for the listeners out there because that is
Mm-hmm.
standard in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
The size of a dime,
Mm-hmm.
any hole, will usually be in the contract to be patched up,
Yeah,
right?
and ultimately, I mean, We're talking about a simple patch. We're not talking about getting professional painter and
No,
doing all these things. You can
just a
actually do
little
this yourself.
spackling. Yeah.
A little spackling. You can go to Home Depot, Lowe's, and actually get. I'm sorry, I'm blanking out here. The
Oh, we used this before. We did this.
yes,
The
what is from? No,
joint compound.
thank you.
Yes.
So you can actually buy joint compound and just fill in the hole. That's very simple and straightforward. You're not
Yeah.
required to have to paint it to the same color. So that's it. You know?
Yeah. Good question though, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, not directly to us, but I like finding good questions from home sellers or home buyers.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say here that I think this is really cool because it's a thoughtful seller. You can already tell because they're actually thinking of the buyer. They had a terrible experience when they bought, and they probably moved in and came in after closing and it was in shambles or very messy. And so I would just say that the best sellers we've come across, the thoughtful sellers, it does really leave a nice impact on the buyers and on the whole. We've had deals where we get to the final walkthrough and the sellers are so thoughtful. They're there leaving certain things that they might want. They have the place cleaned nicely. They're just really, you can see that they put thought into what they're delivering to the buyer. So I would say for any person who's selling a property, it does help to just be thoughtful, be considerate of the buyer, and knowing that they're buying your property, and you can do your best to deliver a nice product. And I think it makes for a nice experience.
I think that's the ticket.
Yeah.
Is that, do your best.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, we've been doing.
Not everyone can. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that we've been handling real estate sales for many years now. And it definitely is based on your personality type, the personality type of each seller, each buyer.
Yeah.
So we understand ultimately, if you can do it, that would be very nice.
Yeah.
If you can't because of circumstances, I know that it's all very circumstantial as well.
It is what it
sometimes,
is,
so.
right?
But yes,
even with ours, like our experience recently, the sellers were great, right?
oh my gosh,
And
the
they
nicest
left
people.
us curtains and curtain rods and blinds. They left us pieces of floor, some what is it for snow, like the salt that you throw out for snow. Just all kind of little, definitely convenient things to have, and very thoughtful. So we definitely
However,
appreciated it.
I will comment that we've also had plenty of experiences where by the time final walkthrough came and the seller was trying to do something nice and left some things such as blinds, curtains, and things of this
And
nature,
they don't want it.
and the buyers don't want it.
Oh,
so
man.
again,
It's
so
tough.
really
Communication.
simple.
Yeah.
Okay, let's end it there.
Boom. Send it. Period.
All right, show's over.
Goodbye. Okay. So
All right.
that's our question or topic of the week.
Thank
I
you.
have
Thank you.
I
for
was
who
gonna
that
do
was.
a bonus question, but we could just go into the aha of the
Please,
week.
it's Friday.
Okay, it's Friday, so no bonus. All right, so the aha of the week, and this is my aha because I shot a video earlier this week related to capital gains, and then I shared it with the team in our team meeting, just going over a little more details of capital gains, and really more so understanding the terminology related to capital gains and how it ties into real estate, just so that you don't get confused and so you understand it.
Oh, this was good.
So I'll try to explain it as
Simply
eloquently
and simply as
and
possible.
simply as possible. So when you sell a property, right, there's capital gains taxes. What is the capital gain? So simply, right, the capital gain is the sale price minus your purchase price. That's the capital gain.
Your original purchase price.
Yeah. So let's say you sold the property, sell the property for 800. You bought it for 400. So that means your capital gain is 400,000.
Okay.
Sorry about that, everybody. So sell for 800,000, bought for 400. So your capital gain is 400,000. Now there's also what's called the taxable gain. The taxable gain is the actual portion of the gain that you will pay capital gains taxes on. And there's different things that impact that will reduce your taxable gain, right? So like your closing costs when you buy the property, that adds on to your cost basis. See, this is like the terminology that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So your cost basis is your original purchase price,
Mm-hmm.
or if you inherited it, what the value was when you inherited it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your cost basis. And then if you when you bought the property, any closing cost that adds to your cost basis. Your closing costs when you sell the property, that adds to your cost basis. Any repairs or improvements throughout the years, that adds to your cost basis. And as your cost basis goes up, then the taxable gain is going down.
Okay, that's
So
cool.
those are some terminologies to kind of, so say for example you sell for 800, you bought for 400, you put in 100,000 of repairs, so now your cost basis is not the 400, it's the 500.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then closing costs get added on also. So those are things that adjust your cost basis. And then like claim depreciation, if you claim depreciation throughout the year, that also impacts it. But I thought it was just interesting, the just the more you understand the way it works and the terminology,
Mm-hmm.
capital gain, the taxable gain, the primary exclusion,
Mm-hmm.
right? The cost basis. So just understanding what those things are help you understand how your capital gains tax will be calculated.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
It sounds like I just confused
Yeah,
everybody.
totally. I mean, I followed you because we speak about this so
Yeah.
much with owners, but it's really important
Yeah.
when I mean, I don't know what else to say besides the fact that it's so important
It's
because
important. Yeah.
we've oftentimes met with homeowners where we go through the process of that they're considering selling, and they want to get understanding of that walk away, and that will affect where they're going next if they're looking to purchase elsewhere, if they're retired, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we go over not only closing costs but separately advise them to speak with their accountant and give them a rough idea of
Yeah.
capital gains tax burden,
Mm-hmm.
man, I mean, we've had people that, oh no, I can't sell right now, or they have to
Yeah.
figure out different plans because they could have very likely had a very large burden, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, if you have questions, please
Yeah. Reach out to us.
reach out to us.
Because there's a lot of ways you can strategize. If you didn't want to
Yes.
pay capital gains, and let's say it's an investment property and you don't get the primary exclusion, but you could move into it for 2 years
Mm-hmm.
and now you get the primary exclusion.
Yeah.
Or if it's an investment property, you can do a 1031 exchange.
Putting a property in a trust, there's a
Putting
step up,
yeah, so there's
right?
step up in cost basis. So there's a lot of strategies. Definitely, I mean, if anybody has questions, reach out.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
when people reach out because
For sure.
I love giving some good advice,
Yes.
giving some of that good advice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You're
All right.
next.
All right. Well, cheers to you, sir.
Cheers for the aha.
Cheers. For
Cheers to
that.
capital gains.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to cut out that awkward silence there. We're both taking a sip at the same time. That was not planned.
This
Properly.
wine might be hitting me already because I almost missed my lip.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so next segment, please.
All right. So now we will talk about new listings. Okay. So next week we will be handling a sale for a new client located in Rosedale. We can't give the address just yet, but keep an eye on what's going on with the Queens Home Team listings.
Yeah.
All right. Quick plug, queenshometeam.com. You can take a look there
Yeah.
and you'll see it posted next week.
And what would you say is the best way, if someone listening, whether they're an agent, a buyer agent, or a buyer, if they wanted to know about our listings as soon as they hit the market, like right away, what do you think would be the best way for them to know about our listings?
Just reach out to us so that way we can add them. We can add y'all to our lists because
Mm-hmm.
we love to have everybody come to see our clients' properties, and we love for our clients to get the best opportunities. So
Mm-hmm.
agents, everyone's welcome.
Okay,
All right.
so my suggestion
Oh,
would
so
be,
that was the wrong answer.
I think because let's say you can get on our list, but those don't go out immediately. They might not go out that day.
Okay.
So really, if you want to know right away, it's our YouTube channel.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because we shoot video tours for all of our listings,
Mm-hmm.
and we make sure that the video is uploaded and published the same day that it goes on to MLS. So you'll actually get a notification when the video tours up. You know it hit the market that day.
Okay.
That I think that's probably the best way, or social media.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
at
as
Queen's Home
I
Team.
said, email us. We'll
Yeah,
add you to our list.
and then you'll find out 4 days later.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right.
So the
So
one family in Rosedale, and I'll leave it at that.
okay,
Okay. For those of
perfect.
you looking in Rosedale. All right.
Yes.
Let's continue. I don't want to
Next.
bore you with the details.
Uh-huh.
All right. Market insights. So George, the 10-year Treasury, 3.39%.
Yes.
And the last episode, which was 2 weeks ago, was at 3.94. So it went down.
yeah, it's a
So
big
tell me
big
about
drop,
that.
right? That's
does
because
that
of the
mean?
bank collapses.
So what does that mean?
All right, I'm gonna read you a market update that I got from Cross Country Mortgage that I think will help explain it.
Is that why you're wearing your
To you.
glasses today?
Yeah,
Okay, so you can see.
I need my reading glasses. No, they're not.
All right.
Okay,
Oop.
and so 10-year Treasury went down
All right.
big time.
Okay.
And obviously, mortgage rates came down too. So mortgage rates, the average rate for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage right now is 6.5%, and in the last episode, it was 7%.
Yeah.
So, half a point down. So that's a big drop. So now I want to give you some insights from. This is an email I get from our buddy Raph Reyes, Cross Country Mortgage.
Shout out.
I get this email every week from them, weekly market update, and I actually like it because they really dive into a lot of the economic indicators, the economic reports that impact the mortgage market.
Okay.
So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read some of it verbatim for you so that you can get an idea of what happened this week
Okay.
and why rates came down.
All right.
Okay.
Should I?
So here we go.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So first, troubles in the banking sector in the
Wait.
U.S. and Europe.
Okay.
Alrighty. So troubles in the banking sector in the U.S. and Europe completely overwhelmed the economic reports in driving financial markets this week. Okay.
Okay.
The impacts of the largest bank failure in the U.S. since the financial crisis in '08, as well as serious issues at a second big U.S. bank, which is Signature Bank, and a major European bank, were positive for mortgage rates for a couple of reasons. Since the issues developed mostly as a result of the rapid monetary policy tightening by the Fed to fight inflation, so what they're saying is the reason for these issues with these two banks was because of the tightening that the Fed's been doing, the fast rate hikes. Investors now are concerned to what degree other banks have similar problems and whether higher rates will cause cracks to emerge in other areas of the financial system.
Wow.
That makes sense, right?
That's
So
interesting.
people are worried, okay, when stuff like this happens, investors get worried of will it ripple through to other areas in the financial system. So their investors are now concerned. The reaction to this increased uncertainty was to shift from risky assets like stocks to relatively safer ones such as bonds, including mortgage-backed securities. So bonds like the 10-year Treasury, right? So when demand for the Treasury bonds goes up, so you get a lot of people buying them, it drives the rate down.
Okay.
So the rates come down.
Did we buy?
No, we've never bought a Treasury. Still, no. But
Why?
one day we will.
Okay.
So that makes sense, right? The reaction to this increased uncertainty was that people shifted, right? Things are super uncertain. Banks collapse. Investors are worried that it might be spreading out. So people want to store their money somewhere safe. So they take their money out of stocks or out of banks and start buying 10-year treasuries or 2-year treasuries. They start buying treasury bonds, which is a safer investment.
Okay.
And then that brings the yield down.
Okay.
So now it also says here, added demand for mortgage-backed securities causes mortgage rates to decline. So that's
Okay.
something good to know.
Mm-hmm.
That demand
Tied-
for
it's tied
mortgage-backed securities also brings
Hey.
mortgage rates down.
Time to buy some Mo.
Yeah. So
Bring those rates down, y'all.
and last thing here is, in addition, Banks are expected to tighten their lending standards. I heard this on a podcast too this week, where now because of all this that happened, you might get banks that start tightening their lending standards more because now banks, investors, people are just worried of how financially solvent these banks are,
Sure.
how healthy they are. And so you might actually get banks becoming more strict and tightening lending standards even in the mortgage market.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because one of our team members is in the process of buying a property and I want to see as he's going through if it's even more strict, if they ask for even more documents, if they're even more, because this can happen when they tighten lending standards, the bank starts to get really nitpicky and get really strict on who they approve and even how you get approved, how much they expect you to go through in the
Yeah.
process.
I
Uh,
mean, my first reaction to what you're stating about banks tightening lending. I mean, I think it's a good idea, in my opinion, at least right now,
Especially right now,
right?
yeah.
Because first you want to make sure that we don't have this problem again. You're one of the things to avoid these problems again.
Yeah.
These little things out of probably a slew of all these other things
Mm-hmm.
that take place, but also whoever's purchasing as well, you want to make sure that they can actually afford the place.
Yeah.
They're not going to have problems in the future, so why not?
Yeah.
I know it can be difficult for others that are really saving and want to purchase, but lending standards, and what I've observed over years is that it
Mm-hmm.
changes throughout. There's hills and valleys. They change, but
Yeah.
right now I think it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where I would say for buyers, anyone looking to buy or in the process of buying, it helps when you're very organized with your
Yes.
financials because if they start tightening any of their standards, that means they're going to ask for more stuff. That means they're going to require more things. And if you have all your documents, all your financials highly organized, it's just easy for you to keep giving them what they ask for.
Okay.
So we'll see what
Great.
happens there. I'm sure we'll start finding out about it if they do start tightening lending standards. We'll probably start hearing about it from
I
mortgage
think
lenders.
for those of you who are listening, I think that's also something. If you have questions on what does that mean, what does that mean? Because I've learned that a lot of people are really just not that organized,
Yeah.
so they don't even know what that means. So
Yeah.
perhaps if you want some advice and tips on what to do, just once again, reach out,
Reach out.
reach out. Some
Okay.
questions.
So market
right.
insights is not done
Thank
yet.
you.
I got some more for you.
Oh my gosh.
Real quick.
Okay.
Real
So
quick. So
mortgage
here.
rates.
No, so we went through the mortgage rates, right?
Okay.
And the bank collapses and that how that impacted mortgage rates.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the latest key inflation data came in very close to expectations and it caused very little reaction. So it came in pretty good. Core CPI, which is the consumer price index.
Mm-hmm.
Core CPI is the one that excludes food and energy.
Okay.
Okay. So a lot of people they look closely at that one. Core CPI was up 5.5% from a year ago, down from 5.6% last month. So slow trend down. Shelter or housing costs remained stubbornly high, and again were responsible for the largest portion of the increase. That's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the rents
Mm-hmm.
still
Going up.
stubbornly high,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
sticky,
Sticky.
which
Okay.
kind of makes sense because if you drive the rates up, mortgage rates, that's less people buying, more people renting. There's already a shortage of housing for buying. There's a shortage of housing for renting. So it's like a weird situation where like it's gonna be hard to get the housing, the shelter costs down.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a tough situation there. But
Interesting.
all in all, core CPI came in with expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And next week, the Fed is meeting on Wednesday, where they're anticipated to raise by 25 basis points. And there's also existing home sales will be released next week and new home sales. So it'll be interesting to see what's happening with transactions,
Okay.
over the
Cool.
last month or so.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
That's interesting.
That's my report.
All right.
Goodbye.
All right. Let's continue.
Yes.
So now we're gonna go over some fun stuff, which is
Okay.
what are we reading? What are we watching? Listening, eating, or drinking. So,
Yes.
George, tell me a little bit about all that.
Well, for me, I'm reading this book, Hidden History of Queens, It's pretty cool. So if
Mm-hmm.
anybody's into Queens and the history, there's some pretty cool stuff in there.
Hence the title.
It's hidden until you read the book,
Okay.
and then
Point
you
taken.
uncover it. And
Okay.
then for watching, I would say Cocaine Bear.
Oh, that was fun.
It was fun. It's a fun movie.
Oh
Like
man, that was fun. We went with my mom.
I definitely, I
That was
would suggest.
entertaining.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's a fun one. It's
Yeah.
a comedy and has like goriness and action.
If you're
it's
into that kind
funny.
of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
We also went to the movies as well yesterday, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
we saw 65 million years ago.
Oh, 65. Yeah, the movie.
Is it 65 million years ago?
Well, the name is of the movie is 65.
Is it
But
just that?
yes.
Okay, so that was fun too.
But it's about a movie 65 million years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. New tech, basically the future going into a world of the past. It was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool
That's
concept.
also fun.
All right.
Check it out.
Why do I always find this a little bit weird talking about movies when I don't want to give any spoilers?
I mean, yeah, just go check it out. It's good.
Survivor, we spoke about that last week.
Yes.
There's a new show also on Netflix that's like a Survivor.
Oh, Outlast.
Yes,
Oh, your brother will love that one.
that's a good one, right?
That's a good one. Yeah, that's cool.
All right, cool.
And then for I was gonna say for eating. Oh yeah, Tacuba. I want to shout them
Ooh.
out
All right, please.
in
Tacuba
Astoria.
Astoria. All right.
Tacuba, Astoria. We've been there many times,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really good.
They
Yeah.
have a good vibe. It's a nice place. They have great service. And one of our favorite dishes is the mussels pot.
Yeah. What do they call it in Spanish? Is that an ajillones or
Oh,
mejillones?
mejillones.
Mejillones. Order that.
Yum.
Fire.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
As far as reading, I might have spoken about this with a previous episode, but 101 Leadership Insights. It's a quick and easy read for those of you that want to, focus on just your leadership skills. And it could be leadership skills and having a team like ourselves, or interpersonal leadership skills. It's really a quick read, 2 to 3 pages a day, each chapter. And they also have quotes from many famous authors and leaders, and it's just very cool. So I
Yeah.
appreciate the book.
Yeah,
There you
that's a
go.
good one. There you
Right.
go. Can't say we never gave you nothing.
All right. So how do we wrap this up,
Can we wrap up now?
please?
All right, awesome. So thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, if you have any questions or about any of the topics we covered, or if you want to reach out to us just for to say hi or to ask some real estate related question, feel free to reach out to us. queenshometeam.com/help. We'll also have Abby's phone number in the show notes in case you want to reach out, call, and say hi. She always loves that. And just stay tuned for the next episode. Take care and have a great day.
Later.